last you guys gathered here, you had traveled across the spine of the world after you had learned about a secret Dwergar plot. The background of this world is that the northern part of the kingdom, known as the Icewind Dale, has been locked in this never-ending winter, brought on by, the locals believe, the evil goddess of winter's fury, Ariel, who they've been making sacrifices to try to end the winter's fury. The people of this region are barely surviving, keeping their own. You have learned your way around the 10 towns and have done some good to try to help them. Along the way, learning more about what's happening, about the ongoings of the world, and about potentially how to stop it. You most recently encountered Macradius, or at least the ghost of Macradius, a gnome man that had created the device that Harkus had claimed. Was it the star? See, now my memory fades me. The summer star that changed the weather, and some had an insight that perhaps this could be the thing to break the never-ending winter. Additionally, you'd heard rumors and visions of a secret city hidden deep beneath the Ragged Glacier that you have learned a little bit about potentially a spire of this ancient city of immense power hiding beneath the glaciers. In the meantime, you uncovered a plot by several Dwergar, which are dwarves from the deep, that had been one of them a warlord by the name of Zardok Sunblight, who had been commanded by his patron to ascend to the surface world and to conquer it, destroying and snuffing out the life of the 10 towners. His minions and sons, Nildar and Dirth, had been collecting pieces of a substance known as Shardolin, which was fragments of an ancient civilization, ancient power that had been scattered across the land and fused with demonic energy. In fact, you had learned that even contact with these things could mentally derange you and cause madness, as you had encountered some local barbarians, tribe people that had been corrupted by it. You encountered, after losing one of our companions, you encountered a new companion that now travels with you, seeking also to end this never-ending winter, and has traveled along with you, Zarya, to Zardok's Keep. As you arrived at Zardok's Keep, a great dragon made out of crystal broke free from the upper floors as giant doors opened in the roof, and it flew outwards towards the 10 towns. Realizing that you could get back, but it would take a day's travel to get there, to try to head the dragon off, you elected to venture into the keep to see what could be done to stop Zardok here, fearing he may be able to produce more of these things, or perhaps there would be some method to control it from the inside. Upon breaching the upper doors of the keep, you realized that there may be some dissent in the ranks, as it seems some rebellion ongoing. The captain of the guards having been whisked away from his guard post, and you being allowed in by a rogue Dwergar that told you he had made his allegiances with another warlord that apparently has some presence named Grandolpha. You don't know who that is or what. You dealt with several of the other guards and began to explore the inner workings of the keep, finding a chain elevator that's continuously running up and down that you could use to move up and down through the portions of the keep. You find yourselves now in the keep of Zardok Sunblight, and that is where we are now, and I will take you there as we set the soundscape for Zardok's Keep. And where are we? In the elevator rooms, or just outside of the elevator rooms of Zardok's Keep. As soon as I find it. All right. You all are standing in the elevator room, in this room with this giant elevator just outside of the keep. Several of you are in the captain of the guard's office. There was an invisible Dwergar that had appeared next to you. One of you spread juice on the ground from a good berry so that you'd be able to see the steps of any invisible foes that might be riding on or off of the elevator. Things are otherwise relatively quiet at this point inside of the keep. And yeah, that's where we're at. What are Leonard, you and Zarya are in the captain of the guard's office. You found lots of papers and things describing guard, functions, and you learned a little bit about the guarding of the forge below. You learned that there were 4 guard towers, each staffed with 3 guards. You also learned, or you're learning now, as you sort of rolled well on sifting through these papers, that there has been some dissent in the ranks. This is with a 26 investigation check for Leonard. There's been some dissent in the ranks and rumors about several of the Dwergar being loyal to this Grandolpha person, whoever it is.
And Jeff, what I was trying to figure out is there information from the stuff we have accessible, from the papers we found, that could help us identify which guards or which dwarves fall into which camp, which Dwergar?
Not immediately. You find notes about there being like interrogations ongoing, and there apparently has been some amount of dissent in the ranks, but not there's not like they're not wearing badges or patches on their shoulders that would be like,
right.
These are the traitors, exactly.
Okay, well, all right. There goes that thought.
I mean, yeah, it's just, they're the ones wearing the little skull uniforms, like it's no.
But the at least from what we can tell, there doesn't appear to be like the people who we expect to encounter. There is no information that we can infer they're good or bad or aligned or not aligned or Grandolpha or not Grandolpha supporters.
Not really.
Okay, that's fine. I just had to ask.
Not obviously. And if I stumble over this, it's been over a week since I've read through this section, so is what it is.
No, that's fine.
So, yeah, y'all are all in the elevator room. That's what you've gathered. Harcus, what are you doing? It's Harcus's feelings on all this.
Harcus is just kind of looking around and trying to figure out if there's somebody else that he can smack around with his new staff, and perhaps another pelt that he can sort of get.
You were given a Dwergar beard. So, you don't see anybody else in this room. There is an exit going up here. There is further stuff on this floor. There were double doors to the north, and then further passages to the east, and then the elevator goes both up and down.
All right, I'm gonna look and see if anybody else is interested, and then I'm gonna start making my way up here.
Okay. As you enter that hallway, you see 2 double doors directly in front of you, and passageways that go further off to the west.
If I come up to the doors, do I hear anything on the other side of them?
Roll perception for me to listen to them. With a 17, you can hear it's quiet. Don't hear any speaking or anything like that on that side. Okay. As you sort of are feeling up against it, there is a faint glow coming from underneath the door, as if there is like some brazier in there that's burning or something, giving light to the room. But you don't hear any voices, so you assume that at least if there's someone in there, they're either asleep or being really quiet.
All right. Well, I'm going to push on the doors.
As you push on those doors, is anybody else up there with you? What's everybody else doing?
Doesn't appear that way.
I don't know if anybody else is moving. I want to give them the opportunity to say what they're doing as you're about to take an action. What about you, Granite Guts? What are you doing? Are you going with Harkus?
And, his soon to be brother Barkus will be joining us.
No, just as Harkus is pushing on those doors. You have started that action that is happening.
Yep.
But I'm giving other people the opportunity before you change the environment to say what they would be doing.
I was sort of keen to take advantage of a little bit of a quiet moment, to have a little bit of a dialogue with Shrubwad right quick.
Okay, so you're talking to a bush while Harkus is walking up to a door.
Yeah.
What do you say to the bush?
So I prop Shrubwad up here against the elevator, and I say, Shrubwad, you've really worked to help us here the last few battles, and I brought you along to sort of keep you safe and find you a place to live where you'd be happy, but you've begun to kind of take more of an active role in this.
I'm a shrub.
Are you happy about that?
I mean, I'm a shrub.
You are indeed a shrub. So in the tales of the scribes of my order, when the darkness threatened the world in the elder days, there were in the tomes tales of the plants awakening and fighting alongside the paladins of old.
Maybe somebody will write a song about me someday.
That could very well be. I know that you were not awoken in the same way that some of the old plants were, but you're alive now.
When they do, can you tell them I was like a 7-foot tall tree with mighty boughs and great roots, and that I smashed 30 orcs with my branches?
Is that something you'd be interested in? Do you want to help us as we work to make sure that the world is safe? Is that something you want
to? Sure.
Well, if you would like to follow in the tradition of the plants of old in my order,
are you trying to get me into a cult?
Just give me the word, and I'll give you a field commission in the Knights of Sylvanas.
This feels like a cult.
It's not a cult. You don't have to join if you don't want to.
As long as there's no drinking Kool-Aid at the end.
So I pull out Dust Crusher and ignite.
Oh God!
And ignite the head.
No!
And I let's see, I pull out my scroll here.
I'm not into shrub sacrifices.
And I say, do you devote to embody the spirit of the mushroom, an ageless reminder that even in the darkest places, life endures? Do you devote to embody the spirit of the kudzu, a stalwart reminder that in the persistence of life is steadfast, tenacious in the face of the calamities of the world? And do you devote to embody the spirit of the oak, a virtuous reminder from Sylvanas himself that whether through strength of might or in fell decay of death that nourishes the acorn saplings, the path life takes many forms within the circle of nature, do you commit to preserve the wild order of the world, to defend the journey of birth, flourish, and decay from any who would decimate or destroy the cycle and all the creatures that depend on it?
Your cult worships some weird plants, but mushroom, kudzu, and oak. Sure.
Okay. And so I turn and I tear the emblem of the mushroom off of my tunic that is a symbol of my order, and I wrap it around his trunk, and I lift up Dust Crusher and I say, I give you a field commission of Tree Sentinel in the Knights of Sylvanas, the Order of the Mushroom.
I was really looking for second lieutenant, but
you are now Shrubwad Brightberry.
oh, I get a surname.
You get a surname.
Take inspiration for this, whatever this is.
I just like to say I feel totally underprepared for my role playing right now.
You push the door open.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
what is Zarya and Leonard doing? Are they watching Granite Guts knight a bush?
I push
Yeah,
the door open.
I'm definitely watching a bush get knighted.
100%. I'm fascinated by this. Yeah.
So everybody else is watching a bush get knighted. You push the door open, and on the inside, what you see is a rectangular room with two sets of double doors, one on the north end and the one on the south you just pushed through. There's a brazier of glowing hot coals that stands in each corner. In the middle of the room is a low stoned table, on the top of which is drawn an illustration that looks something like a map.
Okay, I will take the map.
Yeah, it is a big old map. Let me see if I have it for you. Hang on, I don't know if I've got it for you or not. We'll find out.
And I'm going to be super pissed when I get back.
Oh, I do have the map.
Find out that I missed out on the knighting of Shrubwad.
Are you inspecting the map, or are you just grabbing it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but
okay. As you inspect the map, it reveals that it's an accurate depiction of the 10 towns and its environs. Mounted to the top of a thin iron stand on the table is a 6-inch tall dragon figurine carved out of Chardolin. It is a piece of that crystal carved into the shape of a dragon. The figurine stand is attached by an iron rod to a groove carved in the table, allowing the figurine to move across the map from one settlement to another. If a lever on the west side of the table is pulled, the dragon figurine, quote-unquote, flies over the 10 towns on some preset course. Here is the map. So the lever is pulled, and the dragon just follows this path, leaving the fortress that you're in now, to Dugan's Hole, to Goodmead, to East Haven, to Caer Dineval, to Caer Connig, to Termalaine, to Lonelywood, to Bremen, to Targos, to Bryn Shander, and then the arrow returns back to the keep that you are at now.
I guess looking at this, does it appear there's a way to remove the dragon from the table?
It sort of is like set into this iron rod. Like you don't see like an obvious like latch on it, but it's like, I don't know, it's got like a couple bolts in it, or maybe like it's glued or something. Like you think that you could like rip it off with like a bit of force.
Does it look like it's moving on its own?
Like it looks like it's a mechanical effect. Like you pull the lever and then it's imagine like a model train. Like it follows its track.
So I guess what I'm getting at is it doesn't look like it's tracking something that's already happening.
No, in fact, you do it twice.
Like I could control it.
Nope. In fact, you do it twice and it follows the exact same path and then returns back. It's like there is a course set out and this thing follows the course.
Okay.
Do you want to take the dragon?
Yeah, I'm going to take the dragon.
Okay. You grab the dragon. It's a 6-inch tall dragon figure carved out of Chardolin. Its wings are outstretched. And you would estimate that it is worth about 50 gold pieces as an art object.
Okay.
It feels kind of bad when you hold it. Like you feel like negative emotion a bit.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it in the Dwergar beard.
Okay.
And put it in my bag.
Okay. You've got Chardolin dragon wrapped in beard in your bag.
And then
There's another door to the
I don't
the
see
north.
anything else of interest in the room.
Not in this room. It looks like
Okay.
there is a battle map here. I will say at this point, as you're investigating, and you've taken a copy of this map that I've shown to everybody, the knighting of Shrubwad is over, and you all have noticed that Harkus has flown the coop, so to speak.
Is the battle map the same thing I just saw, or is it something different?
The battle plan, the map that
Okay.
I put on the screen. I'll see if I can put it
Just
up again.
checking. Just checking.
The flight plan of the dragon. It seems to
Okay.
have a flight plan.
Can I listen at this door?
Yeah, sure. Roll perception.
Not as good.
Not as good. You don't hear anything obviously in this behind this door. It's
Okay.
quiet.
Well, I'm kind of feeling pretty good about what I found.
There's also the same like glow from underneath it.
And I'm going to push on that door too.
All right. As he's doing that, is anybody else doing anything coming with him or staying where you're at?
I'm going to go examine the map.
Okay, Leonard, you can move up to this room here.
Yeah, let me.
I'll move you if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll follow Leonard.
Okay, woo, I'm stretching Leonard like a madman. All right, Leonard, you're in here now. Zarya, I assume everybody's going then?
Yeah, I was going to say, is enough time passed where all the
Yeah,
action stuff would be done here?
You've knighted Shrubwad.
Okay.
As Harkus has explored the map room, you've knighted Shrubwad. I'm going to move Ordella up too. Harkus, everybody else enters the room, and you've taken the dragon off of this map, and you've taken the map. Do you explain to everybody what you found?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so hearing that description, I'm very interested in trying to figure out if there's any way to control it, or if it looks like it's just a reflection of what's going on, or if it's a control panel using
roll insight.
Artificization.
You could roll insight, and you can take advantage on this and use any proficiency bonuses related to artificing. So feel free to add in your proficiency bonus if you don't already have it.
Okay,
so we've got
I'll add proficiency bonus to that 20.
20 plus
3.
So 23. With
Yes.
a 23 roll, this appears like a model train. The insight that you get is that it's like a path is programmed into this dragon. You pull the lever and it follows the pre-programmed path. Like, it doesn't seem to be a control. This seems to be a model of what is happening. Like, you pull the lever and then the dragon flies first to first to Dugan's Hole, then to Goodmead, then to East Haven, and just along the flight path.
And does it seem modifiable? Like, does it seem like the route could be changed?
Nope.
Okay.
Every time you pull the lever, the same thing happens.
Okay. All right. Well, there goes my idea.
So the feeling that you get maybe is that with this insight roll of 23 is that there doesn't seem to, at least here in this room, which seems to be the battle room, a way to control the dragon. It's more like the dragon is programmed to go to certain places and it follows its flight path.
Yeah, I just didn't know if the flight path could be altered. Does it look like it can be changed at all, or was this built with a specific flight path in mind?
There's like a groove in the map where like the thing follows, like on like imagine like It's a Small World ride on Disney World.
Yeah.
There's no changing it.
Okay. And the groove just goes where it goes.
Yep.
All right.
So you would intuit then that Zardoc has planned it to fly this route.
Right. For a long time, for long enough to create the thing with that route in mind. Yep. All right.
Okay. You're opening the other door as they're all investigating this. And as you do, I'm sorry I don't have these rooms furnished. You see another room. Of course you see another room. What you see is braziers heaped with glowing hot coals heat this chamber, which contains a large stone bed covered with soot-stained furs. The head of the bed is against the northern wall. In a shallow niche above the bed is a bas-relief of a giant, scowling Dwergar clenching its teeth. At the foot of the bed is a flat-topped iron trunk sealed with a bulky padlock. There is a stone door set into the western wall.
As I open the door and see this,
Mhm.
I'm simply going to mutter jackpot and sort of walk in, first inspecting the furs that are on the bed, and then moving to the iron box at the foot of the bed.
The furs are various animal, like there's like bear and elk, moose maybe.
I'm
They're
just
all
stuffing them in my bag.
they're all kind of poor quality and soot stained, but you've got them. You've got some. They got some Dwergar funk on them.
They'll go well with my beard.
They covered in Dwergar funk.
Okay. Then I'm going to
Need to.
I'm going to inspect the box here.
Okay. There is an iron trunk. It seems to be bolted to the floor. It has a padlock on it.
Okay.
Padlock is iron.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna
Are you inspecting it? Are you touching it? Are you just looking at it real close?
Yeah, I'm looking at it to see if I can see if I can sort of
Roll investigation.
gather anything.
Roll
Is there
investigation.
any traps that are apparent?
Yeah, you're investigating for traps. You're looking for pressure plates. You don't see any switches or pressure plates or springs or anything that would indicate that the thing is trapped. The lock looks like pretty much a regular mechanical lock. It looks like a good lock. Like it's a well-made lock. So like it could be open, but it would take a good thief. It doesn't seem to you don't see any obvious with a 10, you don't see any obvious traps there.
Okay.
But like you think like that's a tough lock. It's not a master lock. Couldn't just rake it. It's like an Abus.
All right. Well, I'm going to look at the lock. I'm
Okay.
going to reach in my pocket.
Okay.
Pull out my chime of opening and ding.
It lets out a extremely clear tone. Kaboom! And the lock goes click and pops open.
Okay. And at that, I'm going to take one of the funky Dwergar hot like furs, drape it over, and with it covering the iron box, I'm going to lift the iron box up.
As you touch the iron box, your hands get really sticky in it. No, I'm just kidding.
If there is a trap,
it bites you.
Yes, if there's some kind of something, the nasty fur should.
The box opens.
Bait.
The box opens.
Okay.
What you can see inside of it is there are a pair of really nice obsidian-looking sandals sitting on the top.
Okay.
And there is what looks like a smoking jacket that is dwarven size that has the sandals sitting on it, and the smoking jacket has gems sewn into it. Yeah, that's what you see. Those sandals, I mean, obsidian like that is valuable.
All right. Well, I'm gonna grab these things.
Okay. The obsidian sandals, as you grab them, look like they're worth about 250 gold pieces.
Sweet.
As you take them, you also notice that there is the jacket has about 50 gemstones sewn into it. You would estimate that it's worth probably about 500 gold.
Okay.
There's also a comb with it is a malachite beard comb set with several garnets. And as you've removed the shoes, you see a hookah made of platinum and star sapphire and a rolled up scroll in the bottom.
Okay.
I don't know how good you are at valuables. You know something about gems, maybe you don't.
Yes, I've been sort of an adventurer for long enough that I would think that.
Okay. So far, you've taken the sandals. The hookah, you'd estimate is worth about 2,500 gold pieces,
Ooh,
as
mother.
it is made out of platinum and star sapphire, and the comb you'd estimate is worth about 750 gold, and the smoking jacket you'd estimate is worth about 500 gold. Which of those items are you taking?
Oh, I've grabbed all of them for the collective.
You've grabbed all of them. Are you and there is also a rolled up leather scroll.
Yeah, we'll take the scroll as well.
Okay. As you take all of the items out of there, all of a sudden, the bottom of the plate of the chest clicks upwards, as if all of the weight is removed from it, and a sudden spew of gas just out straight into your face.
Seems like it was a good thing I left that fur there.
Yeah, you've moved the fur to grab the smoking jacket and the hookah and everything else. Where is everybody else in this room as he's doing this? Be honest.
It really looks like they're out in the hallway.
They're all outside.
I'm
still
sure I'm out
looking
in the
at this
hallway.
map.
All right. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Do. Come on, be good. There we go.
Okay. With that, you're only going to take you're going to take half as much. So you're going to take 16 poison damage.
Okay. All right.
Since you've passed. The alternative was about 30 damage, which is
okay.
so yeah, the gas fills the room with a cloud of poison air, and it is just hanging there. So the entire area around this is now filled with this choking poisonous gas.
So I'm going to run out and close the doors.
Okay.
And,
you run back out, close the doors.
With his hands full.
And as I get out there, I'm going to go, I can't breathe, but we're rich.
Yeah, the entire thing is filled with noxious gas, but you've got plus, I'm adding it up now.
Yeah.
You have 4,000 gold worth of things.
Sweet action.
And you have a scroll.
Okay. So once I get out here, let's see, what do I have? I'm just gonna sort of gasp a little bit and make it seem like I'm really fairly under the weather and see if anybody is willing to help me. And in the meantime,
roll performance.
I'm going to sort of look at the scroll.
Roll performance for feigning your poison state.
Oh wow.
They buy it. Nobody's rolling insight against this crit. You put on the best. You put on the best I've been poisoned performance of your life. You're like rolling. You vomit a little bit.
I rush over to lay on hands.
Yeah.
He has the man flu.
How many damage do you have?
Well,
He'll believe
out of 51.
He'll believe anything that you say.
Yeah.
If you said all of it, I'm dying. Granite Guts buys it.
I'm halfway dead.
How many is that?
25.
I give you 25.
Damn.
He rolled a 20, man. I believe it. I took the hook here.
And so
there you go. You're back up to full health.
I'm gonna put my arm around Cadillac and say, Cadillac, I just got us 4,000 gold worth of stuff, and all it cost was 25 lay on hands.
Wow,
that's a deal.
And you'll get that back tomorrow.
So, and I would go, I also got this scroll.
As you unscroll it, there are things written on it in Dwarvish. I assume you're looking at it.
Yes, and I'm showing Cadillac because he's my new best friend.
Cadillac, you speak Dwarvish, I assume. You're a dwarf. So
Yes, that is correct.
you see a rolled up leather scroll with the following sequence of numbers written on it in Dwarvish. Ooh. I'll put them in the chat. The first set is 1, 3, 6, followed by 8, 2, 7, followed by 2, 5, 2, followed by 5, 6, 3, followed by 9, 7, 5, followed by 7, 1, 4, followed by 4, 3, 4, followed by 2, 9, 9. There's no obvious explanation for what these numbers mean. There are sets of 3, several different sets of 3. Kind of like if you want to roll insight, you can.
You bet your biscuits I'm going to.
Ooh, 20. Pretty good. The only thing that enters your mind is like combination locks. Like locker combinations or something. But that's what you get.
Okay.
And there was another door in that room, but Harkus filled it up with poison gas that as you sort of look, the poison gas is still seeping out from underneath the door. So I doubt anybody wants to go back in there.
Nope.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of tempted.
I mean,
How long can you hold your breath?
I mean,
If
I
we-
just got a lot of gold out of there, and I'm
if we have
really-
lay
there
on
could be
hands, it might
more.
be worth the risk.
I'm real curious about those numbers in that other room.
I have advantage against poison, but I'm really not sure if I want to test it.
So I'm just gonna look at him and say, I think if we get to the chest and close it, we might have a chance.
Because we know the chest is empty. So
And I've got a better idea. I've got a better idea. We can throw one of these furs into it and then close it up.
I'm willing to try it.
Are you going in the room?
And since I've got resistance against poison,
Yeah, there you go.
I may be the best person for it, to be honest.
Okay.
So
Jeff, get ready to recount the tale of how we got TPK'd by a chest.
No, I'll go in and try to shut this thing
All right.
down.
Granite Guts.
Alone, so
you
the
go in-
party
start
doesn't have to
writing
deal with it.
the ode of memory of Granite Guts.
Granite Guts, you enter the room and it is just absolutely filled with this noxious green gas. You find your way to the chest and you're able to close it and like stop the continued spray, but the room is still full and it's going to take a minute to dissipate. You figure that it'll probably take like 10 minutes for all of the gas to fully dissipate from the room that it is currently filled with. Roll me a con save, please.
Okay. And
14.
and that's a +1. I get a +1 bonus on saves now.
Okay. So 15.
Yes.
All right. That's going to pass. You're going to take 18 poison damage. You're resistant to that. Take half. So that's 9 poison damage.
Okay.
y-
Can I make it to this other door to try to open it up to help vent out the room?
yes. Hang on. In D&D 5e, you're able to hold your breath at time equal to 1 plus your Constitution modifier in minutes. What is your con mod?
Let's see, +3.
So you're able to hold your breath for 4 minutes. So you have 4 minutes on the clock here.
Okay. So I'm going to
Before
rush
you-
over here then and yeah, try to open this door to help speed the venting of the room.
Okay, you open the door. And as you open the door, a small, what looks like closet opens
Oh, of
up,
course it'd be a closet.
inside of which there is a shelf embedded into the southern wall that holds a 2-foot tall statue of a nude female Dwergar. She has no facial features and is wearing a spiked crown atop her bald head. The statue of this nude female Dwergar without facial features is made out of the same crystal shard stuff. And surrounding it is one of the creepiest things you've ever seen, because there are multiple skulls surrounding her. And the skulls have lots of little small holes where tentacles would have protruded from them.
Oh my goodness.
And the front of the face.
I was going to grab it. Now I don't know if I want it. Let me. Do I have anything that I can wrap this up in my inventory?
Jeff, can I hold my breath and run in there with my?
Sure, you sure can. You sure can. You're still going to make the con save the first time you enter the room,
even though I'm holding my breath.
Mm-hmm. Nah,
Okay.
well, I made granite guts, yeah, so I'll make you.
Okay.
Roll me con save.
All right.
Yeah, you pass. Take 10 poison damage.
Okay. I'm gonna run in here.
You see the naked statue of the naked Dwergar woman surrounded by skulls. You can roll me religion, granite guts, if you like,
Absolutely.
as you're in there.
And see if this came up in my studies at the temple.
18. The DC was 20.
Damn. Oh, well, I was about to say, do I get to I don't.
Is it made of stone?
It's made out of crystal, the black crystal.
Which is a stone?
Yep.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Does stone cunning apply?
So he knows
Well,
that. So he knows that it's a black crystal. Absolutely, it absolutely tells him that it is definitely that black crystal.
It's definitely not plastic. 100%. No,
But
not
it doesn't
wood.
tell him who the figure is.
Okay.
I'll tell you with that religion check, with that intelligence check, the skulls surrounding it are mind flayer skulls. They look similar to the skull that that your good buddy found that crystal in. The pink crystal.
Interesting. Okay, well, since Harkus is doing his thing in here, I guess I'm going to make an exit then from the room to wait for the gas to dissipate.
Are you grabbing the thing?
I'm gonna throw a fur over it and just kind of look at him and see if we want to carry this out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure that I want to touch it, but Harkus, since you have pelts to wrap it up in, maybe you're better equipped to grab this thing.
Okay, done.
All right.
And then
Harkus, roll me a wisdom save. I don't care if it has a fur over it, you're touching it. Harkus, you feel the strangest sensation you've ever felt in your life. You take 18 psychic damage.
Okay.
Oh no.
And you have the sensation of what it would feel like for your brain to be devoured by an illithid. I don't know what it feels like to have your brain eaten by a mind flayer.
And now you do.
But you experience that, literally having your brain being devoured by a mind flayer.
Okay.
But you feel like you can pick up that statue without any problem now.
All right, I'm grabbing the statue and I'm running.
You got a 2-foot tall statue of a naked dwarven woman wearing a spiked crown with no face.
All right, I'm going to run out here and I'm going to drop it on the table.
Honk.
And then
I don't know
close
if
the door.
everybody else is as horrified of this thing.
What is the vibe check on that, Jeff? Is it
I'm-
like immediately off-putting?
I'm going to look at everybody and say, don't
Yes.
touch it.
Yes.
I'm taken aback.
It is immediately off-putting. Everybody can roll religion, see if anybody knows what this is or who this
Oh,
is.
sure. I'll take a stab at that.
Since you're looking at it, why not?
19.
If only you had bardic inspiration.
If only I had bardic inspiration. If only we had a bard.
I can provide guidance
Yeah, guidance
as
will
a
work.
reaction. So yeah, I will give you guidance.
All right.
Then that'll pass. Leonard, you recognize this is a statue of Deep Dura.
Mm,
Made out of Chardolin.
we've
I'm
heard of this Dura.
You've been told that Deep Dura is the patron of Zardoc, who you assume is a warlock, and this is some sort of shrine to his patron.
Hmm. Well, this is
Well,
interesting.
While we're standing around and trying to decide what we're going to do with this thing,
Mhm.
I'm going to pop open a healing potion and try and recover myself a little bit.
What's your brain feel like there, Harkus?
What brain?
To be honest, Marcus is really kind of he's kind of a more of like is it an id guy than anything else. He's really just
So, like the sensation of something going munchy, munchy, munchy on your brain.
the first thing that comes to his mind is I wonder what that tastes like. So, and he's just going to kind of move on about his day.
I think it doesn't necessarily devour it like literally, although it can. It's also like psychically.
It feels like he's being eaten from the inside.
Yep.
So, the immortal words of Will Ferrell as Harry Carey. I'm going to smother myself in brown mustard and relish. I'll be delicious. Do. Okay.
Where are you guys going?
So we've explored and figured out that the dead end over here is the secret Illithid worshipping warlock closet.
Yep.
So I guess that just leaves us the perpetual motion elevator.
No, there's further hall to the east.
So are we just leaving
On this
this
floor?
Are we leaving this thing?
Oh, I thought you were taking it with you.
We like tie a rope around it and drag it behind us. and
Yes,
nobody's touching
it makes a loud scraping sound as you drag the 2-foot tall crystalline
But we don't
statue
have
through
a
the stone
wagon.
floors. Grrr.
Hey, everybody, we're here.
Kenny, just to like clarify for you, I'm going to move you guys out into the hall here. There is an entire like further pathway heading to the east. There is also the elevators heading north and south.
Do we
Okay.
want to try to destroy the thing?
That's kind of what I was wondering.
I would be down for destroying it.
Okay, how are you guys doing that?
I can try hitting it
Um,
with Dust Crusher.
What about the horn?
I have the horn of blasting.
Oh, that would be a good test to see if it will indeed affect this type of stuff.
And in no way would a horn of blasting ever alert
Okay.
anyone else to your presence.
That's not the stealthiest. Ooh, what if we took it with us? Maybe it's important to the Dwergar. We could use it as like a hostage.
No, wait.
I'm glad you know who it is, so that you didn't have to go up to Zardock and be like, "I got your naked, spiky dwarf woman."
All we have to do is take it back to the closet and then just give the horn a toot in the closet with it. Nobody will hear it.
That's
But,
exactly
like-
how a horn of blasting works.
What if we could
Blast
use
it
it to
real quietly.
use it to barter our way out of a situation? I don't know. I'm just thinking,
It seems like we should do something with it.
is there a situation where I would regret having destroyed it? Well, what if it could save the world?
I'll bet Toot would know what to do with it.
I guarantee Toot would know what to do.
Alas. Poor Toot.
In the
Only we
distance,
could-
in the distance, you hear the faint screams of the denizens of Dugan's Hole as
Oh.
they're all being roasted.
Do you want me to try just destroying it with
That's-
Dust Crusher?
That's fine.
All right, make me an attack roll if that's what you're doing.
Actions and see, is there anything I should do here to boost this? I don't think I'm going to buff it. I'm just going to roll it.
29 hits it for sure. I'm gonna say that it does double damage. So with that hit, you smack it and the thing shatters into like 6 different pieces and it falls to the ground. It doesn't, a ghost does not come out of it.
When it shatters, I'm gonna look at Harkus and just see if he looks harmed or less possessed or more possessed or
Nope,
okay. Or what exactly is going on there?
not yet.
Not yet.
It's only been probably 10 or 15 minutes since Harkus grabbed the dragon.
I feel better.
Hmm.
I think
And
I'll
had
go
his
for a
brain
walk.
Well, we accomplished something, I guess.
No?
You broke a rock.
Yay. Progress.
We
Well,
turned-
I mean,
We turned one dangerous object into 6 dangerous objects.
maybe
I just
that
want to
rock,
I just want
but-
to point out that this crew of all stars, with the knowledge that an entire village of people is being incinerated in Dragonfire right now, you guys broke a rock.
And we died in the bush.
And I feel
Don't
really
forget
good about
that.
it.
And we got
Okay.
ourselves poisoned by gas.
Hmm.
All right, you shattered
We're
it.
learning how
Whoops.
to destroy the dragon.
You've shattered it. Oh yeah, it broke with a big hit. Piece of it broke. It's just a statue. It's not indestructible. All right, pathways to the east over here, and south back into the elevator room.
all right. East, I think.
All right. As you move to the east, you start to hear from this room to this. There are double doors directly to the north, and there is a room to the south that you hear some sounds echoing out of. The sounds of clanking and smashing and things like that. Just like a constant like din of like activity, clank, 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 smash, smash, clank, 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 smash, smash. Coming from, echoing from this area to the south. To the north, there is a set of double doors. Everybody roll perception.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ooh, 1920. Wow, some good perceptions. Over the clanking and smashing, you hear the sounds of like plates and silverware sort of clanking around in the room directly to the north. And you hear the din of forge activity happening to the south.
There's something. Oh, the forges There's a forge that is the dark heart of a dragon.
Yes, it's powered by the heart of a red dragon.
And if it goes cold, it's bad for it or something.
Yes, the forge would be dead.
So I feel pretty highly motivated to sabotage the forge, but that's just me talking.
A dragon heart could be useful.
I'm kind
Sounds
of
like
wondering if
reasonable.
there's anything in this room up here that might help us sabotage it.
That's also a good thought.
Does
Are
that count as a pelt, Harcus? A dragon pericardial sac?
Absolutely.
Are you going up to the room to the north?
It counts as a tiny hut.
Very, very sneakily to the room to the north.
All right. Roll stealth, I guess.
Do we
Oh,
all?
Harcus. Harcus, you stealthily, the person opening the door, which was Harcus. Harcus, you very stealthily open the door a crack, and you're able to see inside. There is a Dwergar woman sitting at a table, and she is eating something. There are a couple of other Dwergar that are sort of standing around. They are not. They have armaments, but none of them are drawn. They're like on their hips and stuff. And this Dwergar woman, who is wearing like robes and stuff like that, is like munching upon something.
Okay, I'm going to sort of gently close the door.
Roll stealth again.
As much as I hesitate to point out my role in these shenanigans, Jeff, that was a critical failure on the stealth roll that I made.
Yeah, but I was only asking for the person that was opening the door to make the roll.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to, I didn't want that to fall by the wayside. I didn't want to get away with the robot critically failing a sneak roll.
Yeah, Harcus, you're able to see that there is a woman in there. Roll perception, Harcus, before you close the door. Because I'm gonna try to give you any more information that I can. Oh, there you go. As you open the door and peer inside, you see a dwarven woman sitting at the table. And you don't understand what they're saying. But one of the like guard people speaks to her. And you distinctly you don't understand Dwergar, but you do understand like the word for yes and no, because it's like, yeah, no. It's basically the same word across like all languages. And you hear one of the guards in the mumbling say, "Ja, Grandolfa," to the woman, and the door you very stealthily close without being noticed.
Okay. So I'm going to go back here and tell everybody what just happened.
I'm going to ask Harcus if Grandolfa looked like she worshipped Mind Flayer gods.
And I'm
Does
going
she
to
have a
look back and-
face?
With that perception roll of 19, you didn't see any mind flayers on her.
Huh.
You didn't go in there and say, "Hey, do you like the mind flayers?"
But you could have with that stealth roll.
Perhaps.
So do we get the sense from our invisible Dwergar friend that these are the I hesitate to say good guys, but the enemies of our enemies at the very least?
The goodest guys we're getting, I think.
What he told you was that many of the Dwergar have made their allegiance to somebody named Grandolfa.
Yeah.
And he let you in with the hopes that you would take out Zardoc in favor of Grandolfa. Harkus, what you have intuited from your good stealth roll and good perception rolls is that the guard in here is speaking to someone that you assume is Grandolpha.
Something doesn't
Okay.
make sense to me. So we were allowed in here, but then we had to fight the guards. And the one that let us in ostensibly didn't want to be found, but he's on the side of Grandolpha. But Grandolpha is sitting here eating pies. She doesn't appear the way Harkus described it to be under house arrest. So is she a I don't know. This doesn't I'm confused.
Maybe when you're confused, this is a situation where you should use your words. Talk to people.
So perhaps we should
It
go
would-
eat
it would-
pies
it
with
would-
Grandolpha.
It would stand to reason that there's information that you don't fully have to understand the entire situation here.
Right. Which is what I'm attempting to articulate is Cadillac. Is that this doesn't quite make sense to me, and I think it might be worth engaging. All of this doesn't quite stack up.
Harkus is just going to sort of shrug his shoulders and start walking back to the door.
Okay.
Howdy ho.
You walk back to the door. Do you open it and walk in?
I'm looking back over my shoulder to see if anybody else is coming.
Is anybody else coming?
I'll come along.
Is everybody
Hello.
coming?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody enters the room. As you enter the room, all of the Dwergar guards draw their swords. All of a sudden, they unsheath their swords. And the Dwergar woman sitting at the table looks over and she says, "Abadasabado." That's my best Dwergar voice. "Abadasabado." And she raises her hand, and all of the guards lower their swords. And they look over at you. And I'm going to need a voice for an elderly, not elderly, but a middle-aged Dwergar woman. A granny Dwergar woman. And here it comes. She looks over at you and she says, "Oh, won't you please join me? Sit, sit, sit. Come, come, come."
Okay, well, take a seat. No reason to refuse hospitality.
She, as you all, as you come and sit down, you notice that she is feasting on what looks like a brain with 4 legs that has been cooked. I don't know if any of you, as you sort of look at it, she looks over at you and she says, delectable. Please, I don't know if you've ever had roasted intellect devourer, but you are more than welcome to partake. Please, please join me.
I'm
It's been stewed in its own brain juices.
thank you very much, but I'm so full right now. It's really been
More for me. She offers you, she turns and says, "Would you care for a Musgard brew? Brewed straight from the Musgard family of the deep Underdark." And she, like out of a barrel in the side that the guards are holding, she uncorks like this sludgy purplish, like alcoholic beverage that sort of like sludges into a glass, and she slurps it with and offers you a Musgard brew.
I'm really fairly partial to mead.
She
What
says it
about
is
some-
it's made from the Underdark mushrooms. It is a delicacy of my people.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
actually
I'm
allergic
gonna-
to fungus.
I'm going to look to Cadillac because that's
I was going to
That's
say, I'm all
a
about
very
some mushrooms.
Sylvanas brew.
Do you partake?
I absolutely partake.
The book describes it as vile.
Which means it's a delicacy for a dwarf.
Yeah, is that a value judgment or taste?
It sludges through your teeth as you drink it. You have to kind of chew a little bit. There is an alcoholic flair to it, but it's rough.
Oh dear.
She looks over at you and she says, I assume that all of you are here because of Zardok's plot.
You assume correctly.
Then you must be wondering why I am here and why I am not attacking you.
That
The
is,
thought did occur.
yes, that's astute as well.
She looks over and says, Zardok has proposed an alliance between my clan, the Musgard clan, and his own. I'm entertaining his offer currently, but have agreed to nothing. He has some harebrained scheme that his deep lord, and she sort of like goes like, "Boo." His deep lord has told him to engage upon. For what it's worth, I personally believe that I would be able to conquer Zardok's clan. Many of them have already secretly pledged their loyalty to me. Zardok doesn't suspect me particularly. He knows that there is dissent within his ranks. In fact, he just imprisoned the captain of his guard on suspicion of treachery. Ha! Little beknownst to him, his captain of the guard is not even one of those that have pledged loyalty to me. None the same. All the same. This alliance, I am here on a diplomatic mission, as it were, from the Musgard clan, to hear him out. I'm not particularly interested in Zardok's little plan, so I'm certainly not going to stand in his way. Or your way, as it were. The enemy of my enemy, as it may be. And she takes a long sip off of this like horrible brew. Given time, I think I can turn most of the Sunblight Dwergar against Zardok. As I said, several of them have already pledged their loyalty to me.
I'm going to ask her what she knows of Zardok's plans.
She says, he's capturing Underdark monsters. He plans to unleash them on the Icewind Dale after the dragon has done its work. He's already captured a Myconid sovereign and is using its spores to reanimate corpses. They first tested it at an outpost nearby. People that had been turned into partial mushrooms, like mushroom zombies. They sometimes explode and do bad damage to you if you get too close to them after you murder them. You may have encountered them previously, in a prior episode that nearly murdered you. She doesn't say that, but you think that. She says, Zardok has apparently programmed his little dragon to fly a prearranged route. He has it over. He has it all laid out over in his little map room. He likes to go up there and stare at his toys.
I expect that he'll be fairly bored when he gets home then.
Who? Zardok?
Yes.
I expect he's down in the forge, either forging out new pieces to make another dragon, or creating more of those what do you call them? Spore servants.
What would you say to the opportunity to perhaps align yourself with someone different than Zardok?
I'm listening.
Perhaps against Zardok.
I am also listening.
Put a different way, how would you like to expedite your ideas to consolidate power? We might be able to help with that if we got a little help from you.
I would be willing to engage in this diplomacy. And she takes a big bite of what looks like temporal lobe out of this like mind flayer dog.
I'm just going to look at her and say, I hear the frontal lobe really makes you smile.
She says, yes, yes, but you have to suck the juices.
That is true. That is
Care
true.
care for some? You haven't
No,
lived.
no.
If
Again, I'm still so full.
listen,
I've
you
got a
haven't
full-
lived. You haven't lived if you haven't tried intellect devour roasted in its own brain juices.
You know, you've convinced me. I'll try a small bite.
It tastes horrible. It's covered in ash. They apparently like salt their food with ash, which just ruins any bit of flavor that it might have had.
I really get the char of the flame on this.
I'm glad you enjoy.
Has a certain
Now-
bouquet.
I believe if you've got some time, and more importantly, some assistance to come and help us, we know the way to the forge.
She looks over and says, I know the way to the forge. It's down a level. I mean, I've been here for 2 days, and I've been put up in this dump while I listen to Zardok's rantings. Here's the deal. You want a deal. You want assistance, and I want to take over the clan. Fair enough. I have several Dwergar that have secretly pledged their loyalty to me. If you show them that you're winning the fight, my men will turn on Zardok's men and engage with you. But if you are losing the fight, then I'm going to keep my current position as a diplomat here, engaging in diplomacy with Zardok. And if you are losing the fight, then we will watch you die.
Then, as a point of information, when we get down there, how are we to know that we're not killing your men and that we're killing Zardok's?
She says there are four guard towers surrounding. In each of the 4 guard towers, I have 1 Dwergar that is loyal to me. So far, there are 3 in each tower. My loyal guard will surprise the others if you show that you are victorious.
So what can you tell us about the forge? Perhaps in order to assist ensuring our victory.
Well, let me think.
And I'm going to pull out the little piece of the little scroll with the numbers on it, flip
Yep.
it over on the back so that perhaps she can draw me a map or sort of indicate some kind of a battle plan.
Well, here's what she'll give you. She says, crap, I just froze Roll20. She says the forge is a large area to the south. It's surrounded by 4 guard towers, each of which containing 3 Dwergar guards, one of which is loyal to her in each of the towers that will turn on them if you are showing adequate fight. She tells you in the bottom of the forge, you could probably find Zardok and several of his men. He has these spore servants that have been reanimated that he is taking Underdark monsters. She tells you that they are something called Quaggoths from the Underdark. I don't know if you know what a Quaggoth is. You can roll nature to see if you've heard of it. But he's apparently taken Quaggoths from the
Nope.
Underdark. Nope, you don't have a clue. Anybody can roll, but unless you've been to the Underdark, it's a pretty high check. She says he's taken Quaggoths from the Underdark and turned them into these spore servants.
But she did tell us that those are not things you want to be around when they die.
Yeah, she tells you the Quaggoths are kind of these horrible monster things. Trying to see if I have a picture of one. Well, you wouldn't have seen it. They're kind of like ape monsters. Leonard, you don't know either.
They sound like bad news, and that's really all I need to know.
She also says that he has a few Dwergar that are loyal to him down on the ground with him, but not many. There's some Dwergar in barracks, and there are Dwergar in the deep mines that start to head out towards the Underdark. Zardok also has a throne that he has made out of this crystal substance. that he likes to sit upon. So he may be there, or he may be in the forge area. Oftentimes, some of the Dwergar are there in the throne room with him. Let me see what else she can tell you about the forge itself. There is a forge that is in the bottom of this facility. It's 100 feet down, powered by the Dragon Heart. South of the forge, there is a large, like, clamp structure that the dragon was attached to before it flew out of the shaft. There's a shaft that ascends the entire thing 300 feet up to the top, where there are some giant doors that are opened to allow the dragon to fly out of the facility. Currently, they are cleaning up from the dragon flying out, and there's a cleanup crew that's headed up by a woman named Thronta. That is, you sort of heard kind of the bellowing sounds of her, like, bellowing the cleanup down in the ground area where the dragon took off. There's an assembly platform, the forge itself. She describes, interestingly, the most interesting thing, maybe the most interesting thing that sort of catches your ear, is the stuff is heavy, and Zardoc has some Dwergar that are wearing, like, bodysuits, like mechanized bodysuits. Think like Alien, to, like, allow them to
like
pick up heavy stuff.
exo frames or whatever.
Yeah, exo frames to fit a dwarf.
Does she give us any information? Does she know? I'm going to ask. Do you know how he's controlling the dragon, or how we might be able to stop it?
She tells you the only way she knows would be to destroy it, and that the dragon is pre-programmed, that it's not controlled from here, that it just flies its route. She also tells you that there is a lower barracks down in the bottom that houses about 15 or so Dwergar, that they ought to, at this point, be able to hang around. She says 10 of the 15 have pledged their loyalty to her.
So what then is the room directly to the south of us? If it's
She's-
not, if the forge is 100 feet down.
She says that is a vent that is overlooking the forge 100 feet down. It's barred off.
Tracking. All right.
There's also some prison cells that are down there right now that are housing a couple of different prisoners.
So, Grandolpha, you've been here for a while.
2 days.
Is there a strategically advantageous way for us to get to or into the forge other than just walking in the front door that you've noticed?
She says really the only way to get down there are the elevators. There are 2 elevator shafts. The one to the east, she says, lowers directly behind Zardoc's throne room. In the area where it lowers behind, there is one of the Quaggoth dens, and there is also a guard post there that it lowers right next to. She says that in that room there are 2 guards that have pledged their loyalty to her. So she could potentially get them on your side. Or they would at least let you pass if you went down the eastern elevators. The western elevator, she says, the western elevator lowers down into I'm sorry, the eastern elevator. That's the western elevator that I described first. The eastern elevator, the room that you were in to begin with, was the western elevator. Now the eastern elevator, further to the east, it lowers down into its own little room that is directly next to a temple that Zardoc has made to Deep Dura. And he potentially would be in the temple. So she doesn't know exactly where he is. He's either at the cleanup in the forge, he's in his throne room, or he would be in the temple to Deep Dura that the eastern elevator lowers near to. The only way down there is through one of the elevators. The elevators also rise up to the top, 100 feet above you, which has got a couple of Dwergar that are manning the cranks and things that open the giant doors in the roof that allowed the dragon to fly out. There's also like a workshop in there for the mech suits in the upper zones.
My last question is, does she know anything, or are there patrols?
Not really. They're not expecting a lot of like stuff. So you should be relatively unmolested. She recommends going down the she says the only other thing on this floor are the rooms to Zardok's two sons, Nildar and Dirth. But she says both of them have not returned from the field. One of them, at least one of them, is feared dead. The other, Nildar, Dirth is feared dead. Nildar, they think, has been captured by the East Haven militia. Was initially captured by the Carconic militia as you drug him back there, and then turned over to East Haven. But neither of them have returned. Both of them have quarters in this upper area further to the east. She doesn't know the contents of their quarters.
The vent that's to the south, is that directly over the forge?
It is. It's 100 feet down. It's not directly over the fire of the forge. It's more directly over. It's actually directly over a. I want to be straight here and correct. It's over vertical shaft since 200 feet. Yeah, it's directly over the shaft that the dragon would have flown out of. So like it's barred off and it's looking at the shaft that ascends the entire length of the facility.
And the shaft is vertical?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is a 300-foot vertical shaft. You're in like the middle section right now. It goes 100 feet above you and 100 feet below you. It's what the dragon flew out of. There's a barred off view into this shaft.
Okay.
And a landing platform for the dragon at the bottom of it.
How close would the flames of the forge be to the shaft?
To the shaft?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. About 100 feet, give or take.
Okay.
80 feet, 80 to 100 feet, she'd guess.
Okay.
Forge is closer to directly over us right now. It's further to the north.
Okay. Thank you.
She also describes, interestingly, like if you're really asking for like more information to sort of plan it out as she has gathered that you're willing to deal with her, that Zardok has some giant lizards that he keeps pinned up just south of that shaft. They use them as mounts and as pack animals. They're nasty, anything that's not a Dwergar, but they're mostly used as pack animals and mounts. So there's giant lizard pens down there as well. And she continues to like munch on her intellect devourer. And she looks around the room and says, "Are you sure you want to try the Musgard brew? Can I get you another one, Master Dwarf?"
Oh, I'm still working on this one, thank you, madam.
Delicious.
Okay. At this point, I'm feeling like I'm ready to go.
All right, where are you going?
I'm just gonna look at her and I'll go, "We'll be back."
Very good. She also has a little pseudo dragon that is made out of the Chardolin crystal that is with her.
Very nice little dragon you have there.
It was a gift.
In a show of good faith of our intentions to follow through, might I give you a gift as well?
Depends on what it is. I'll listen to this diplomacy.
I open my bag of magic beans and I give her one bean and I say, this is endued with wondrous magic. Use it wisely.
Okay. Hang on. Just a moment.
Now the question here is, does the bean activate immediately when you pull it out of the bag?
It does
It's
not.
got to be planted.
It does not. It has to be planted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Roll me a D100, please.
Okay.
$46. Okay, good to know. All right.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep. She pockets the bean and says, my Dwergar would be on your side. She gives you a little piece of parchment, and she scrawls something in Dwergar and then signs it. I think it just says, these guys are okay. Grandolpha.
I'll take it. That's better than having no support from Grandolpha to prove it.
Yeah, she gives you basically something to recommend, so that like if you were questioned by one of her people, that you have bona fides.
Okay, so it sounds like the best approach from a guard standpoint is the set of elevators by the Quaggoth dens, the western elevators.
She says that her guards are there. It may be a little bit more treacherous, but she has people stationed there.
All right.
Is that where you guys are headed?
Do we want to continue the exploration of this hallway? Or does it just go straight to the elevator?
No, she says that down this hallway there are the two rooms of the two sons that have not returned to Nildar and Dearth. She doesn't know what they have in there. Neither of them have returned.
Okay.
Well, then by all means, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, I want to check out, because Nildar was that guy who we captured in the little fortress area, and he was a jerk, so I want to take all his stuff.
He was a bit of a jerk.
Okay. So you make your way out into the hall. Nildar and Dearth's rooms are this way. There's there are three doors to the north, south, and east in this area. I'm going to put you into this area here. North, south, and east. Three doors immediately surrounding. One exit is Dennis. Which way do you go? Exits are north, south, and Dennis. Nobody else is ever going to get that Homestar Runner joke.
Let's go north.
All right.
Voting for north.
Open the door to the north. Let me get the dynamic lighting opened for you. Hang on. Doot. Doot. All right. You enter the room to the north, and inside here the chamber is dark and contains a plain stone bed and a stone trunk and 4 unlit braziers.
All right, I'm gonna open the trunk.
Okay.
Go look at
Leonard, the trunk doesn't have any obvious like locks on it or anything. As you reach down to open the trunk, Leonard, your hand sticks to the trunk really hard and fast. And the trunk, as it does, thwops you with a large, like, tongue-like projection. And it bites at you as you're surprised with both of these hits being advantaged. So 18 and 17.
Yep, both of those are going to do it.
It's not rolling the damage for some reason.
Oh, I guess it did 0.
So I'm going to roll them here. 14 damage total. As now you're stuck to the chest. It is completely adhered to you. Leonard, yeah, go ahead and roll initiative, everybody.
Oh, I got a 4. All right. Who puts a mimic in their bedroom? Let's be real.
Always remember to arm your
the
minute.
The trunk is Dirth's longtime companion, an intelligent mimic that speaks undercommon.
That's incredible. I'm not even mad.
Harkus, you're up. You see Leonard is like stuck to the chest and is like currently flailing as it bit him and whacked him with a tentacle. 17's a hit.
And
So
that's the necrotic damage.
Okay,
The
so
2d6 are the necrotic damage.
okay. Yeah, it takes a real big hit. It whomps the mimic. Ordella, you're up.
Does the 12 hit?
The 12 does not hit.
Can then I unarm attack it?
Are you flurrying of blows?
No, I'll just unarm attack him.
You only get 2 attacks unless you flurry of blows, right?
But I thought my unarmed attack was a bonus action.
Oh, is it? Is that a monk feature? I don't know.
Maybe not. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, I've got a bonus action of an unarmed attack.
Okay, then yeah, then you can make an unarmed strike. That'll do. Make me a dex save. You're stuck to it. As you punch it, but you're trying to pull your hand back, and it just like doesn't come.
So right now, 2 of us are stuck to this mimic.
Yep.
Harkus, thank you for not making me feel like the
But I
only.
smacked him pretty good to do it.
23 and 21 to hit each of you.
That'll do it.
8 damage to Harkus and 5 damage to Leonard.
All right, I'm looking less good.
Zarya.
Okay.
No, I didn't have my turn.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Or
Get
it's
me.
not in order.
It
Why
was.
is- Ordella, you're up.
Okay.
You should have gone before the mimic.
Yeah. Yeah, you skipped me.
And
All
you
right,
can
well,
kill
we're
it
just
so
gonna
that
make-
the damage erases.
This is what's going to happen here. The mimic's initiative just got better.
Ah. Wow. All right, I'm gonna come up here and I guess I'll use my great axe on it. Maybe.
That's a hit.
Yay. 16.
Yep. Good damage.
And then again.
That's a miss.
Oh, well. All right.
Now Zarya's up.
Okay. Can I get it to make a wisdom saving throw as I cast Toll the Dead?
Yeah. $14.
It fails. The target is missing hit points, yes.
Holy cow, you tolling the dead of a mimic. Okay, describe to me how you destroy this mimic chest with your like toll of the dead.
This is not a normal creature. Yeah, so I guess I use my axe and I slam it against my shield, and you hear like a gong reverb. And I think both Leonard and Harkus, being that you're stuck to this, are kind of feeling it run through you. But I think it just collapses. And then like you feel the like vibrations as it's collapsing to the ground.
And the stickiness kind of falls off, and Leonard and Harkus, you guys are released as it sort of withers and stops moving, and its giant, like, protruding, biting mouth just sort of falls over.
Well, can we loot it?
You sure can.
Yeah, I mean that's we got to get to the good stuff.
Yeah. There is a tiny art figure of a looks like some sort of like beast. You know exactly certain what kind of beast it is. It's like got the head of a lion and like the tail of a dragon. It's like multiple beasts together. Some sort of chimera or something like that. That is carved out of some sort of stone, maybe onyx or something. And there is a dagger that has a curved handle, sort of a curvy handle in the chest. And there is a set of dwarf-sized clothing.
I'm gonna tell Ordella I'll give her 200 gold for that statue of whatever that thing is.
Sure.
Okay, Ordella, you get 200 gold, and you have a statue of what looks like some sort of chimera made out of stone, like onyx or something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna spend some time with that and see if it's fancy.
Okay.
Or if it's just a stone thing that I just grossly overpaid for.
All right. I need you, Harkus. Let's see here. Harkus, I need you to roll me a D100, please. Actually, yes. Harkus rolls a D100. 39. Okay. Just one moment, and I will tell you what happens here. Okay. Definitely.
Please tell me it turns into Guinevere. Please tell me it turns into Guinevere.
39. Okay. Harkus, you feel your mind sort of twisting.
Man.
And as this happens, you find that your like personal being is sort of changing. 39. With a 39, you find that achieving your goal, whatever it is absolutely now the only thing that interests you. And you will ignore everything else to achieve it, whatever that is. Which this form of indefinite madness, I'm not sure is all that different than how Arcus is to begin with.
It's called Tuesday.
But Arcus is afflicted with indefinite madness.
Kind of feels like somebody just gave me Adderall.
Yeah. Achieving your goal is the only thing of interest to you, and you'll ignore everything else to pursue it.
Okay.
So in a stark change of affairs, he is now a pelt-seeking machine.
Yeah.
If your goal is to seek pelts, that is the only thing that matters now to Harkus. Forget the Frostmaiden, forget anything else. You just want the pelt. It's a really nice statue. It doesn't seem to have any magical properties that you've been able to suss out in the time that you've spent playing with it, other than that you're mad now. You have this indefinite madness that you are driven to achieve your goal no matter what.
Okay.
And you'll roleplay that at the cost of potentially your mission. So I think that your goal is to achieve pelts. So life limb doesn't matter. Harkus is going after, he's going after the pelt.
At this point, I've fixated on Leonard's statement that a dragon heart counts as a pelt. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Now, what
So
happens
Harkus is
if
just-
Granite Gut sells some of his pelts then?
That is
Oh, I don't think that he could bear to part with them.
all I
Harkus
can
couldn't.
think
What happens if you touch the forge made out of dragon heart?
of. That's all
This is
I
a
can
very
think
good question.
of, the dragon heart.
I wonder if it tells you what happens if you touch the forge. We'll have to find out next week on Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Oh,
Only one way to find out.
yeah.
Not much combat tonight, but you did get to meet an interesting NPC.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Grandolpha and her intellect devours stew. That's awesome. Enjoyed the mimic fight, enjoyed the statue interaction, enjoyed Harkus going mad. Now crazed with pelts.
This is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
You will stop at nothing but to get those pelts. And the only thing to break this madness is the dragon, the crystal dragon that you're holding. It is affecting you. It's like the One Ring. Like your mind is just sort of getting twisted by holding this crystal close to you.
Do I
Good night,
realize that, or is that just?
Yeah, you get the sense that it's definitely coming from the crystal, but you can't bear to part with
But
it
it
now.
doesn't matter.
Fair enough. Okay.
I hope you guys had a good time. I'm sorry we didn't get further into it, but it's getting late and I don't want to go much later. So good night, everybody. We'll see you all next week.
Night.
Have a good one.
Right.
All right, y'all.